Daily Devotion with Pastor Balla for July 13th, 2025. Salvation belongs to the Lord, from Psalm chapter 3, verses 7 and 8. Arise, O Lord, save me, O my God. For you strike all my enemies on the cheek. You break the teeth of the wicked. Salvation belongs to the Lord. Your blessing be on your people. The final verses of Psalm chapter 3 return to the language of prayer and a confident plea. David, surrounded by his enemies and fleeing for his life, boldly cries out, "Arise, O Lord, save me, O my God." This is not a cry of despair, but of faith. Faith rooted in the Lord's promises. Arise is a call for God to act, echoing the language used when Israel moved the Ark of the Covenant in the wilderness. From Numbers chapter 10, verse 35, it was said, "Arise, O Lord, and let your enemies be scattered." David is not asking for salvation from mere danger. He is calling upon the Lord as his only hope for deliverance. The psalmist speaks with confidence that God's justice will prevail. For you strike all my enemies on the cheek. You break the teeth of the wicked. These are strong words, not of personal vengeance, but of divine judgment. To strike the cheek and break the teeth is symbolic of disarming the wicked, rendering them powerless, and publicly humiliating those who oppose the Lord and his anointed. God defends his people against all who seek their harm, not only physical enemies, but the greater enemies of sin, death, and the devil. The wicked may roar and show their teeth, but before the Lord they are shattered. This victory is not earned by the strength of the believer, but is accomplished by the Lord alone. The declaration that follows is the central confession of the psalm. Salvation belongs to the Lord. All deliverance, whether from earthly foes or eternal condemnation, is the Lord's doing. It is his alone to give. This confession reaches its fullness in the person and work of Jesus Christ, through whom God has accomplished eternal salvation. At the cross, God struck down the power of the wicked, broke the teeth of Satan, and silenced the accusations that stood against us. In Christ's resurrection, this salvation was made visible to all. Death is defeated, sin forgiven, the enemy is overcome. Truly, salvation belongs to the Lord. David ends his prayer not only with confidence for himself, but with intercession for God's people. Your blessing be on your people, even in personal distress. David remembers the whole congregation. So also today, the blessing of God in Christ is poured out upon the church, his beloved bride. Each believer lives under the shelter of his grace and the promise of his saving work. So rest today in the truth that your salvation is secure, not in your strength, but in the Lord who saves. God's peace and many blessings be with you, and thank you for listening. And please take an opportunity to share this message with others.